Namaste and very good evening, one and all. My name is Nalai Nayagam, DGM Quality from Oerlikon Balsas Coating India Limited, Chennai. Welcome to Leaders Connect 360 Foundation episode LC271. Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a non-profit organization aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDG). Our mission is to invite 1,000 plus leaders and create 1,000,000 leaders. Every Wednesday, we come together from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. ISD on Zoom Live to gain insights from top management leaders. And last week of the month, from the authors, and once in every quarters, we take it offline in different cities to network, support, and grow together. Because at the Leaders Connect 360, we strongly believe that leaders create more leaders. Today, we have our guest, Ms. Malathi K S, Director Rewards Consulting, Mercer India, in conversation with our panel discussion leader, Mr. Yugandhar V, Manager HR, EverestIMS Technologies. Before we kickstart the episode, a quick reminder, please keep your videos on for engaging experience. First-time visitors, check out the WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn links in the chat box to stay connected and grow with us. This episode is being recorded for our community archives. Now, let's start the energy high. If you are excited and ready for the impactful session, drop a thumbs up or smiley in the chat. Fantastic. And before we go, let me introduce our guest, Ms. Malathi. Let me also introduce Mr. Pankaj Vyas, Managing Partner, Bija Training, who will be interacting with our guest alongside with our panel discussion leader, Mr. Yugandhar. Without further delay, let's get started. Over to you, Mr. Pankaj, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nalai. Thank you so much. Good evening, one and all. Good evening, all the visitors, and special welcome to Ms. Malathi and Yugandhar to this forum. So before we move forward, I would like to officially welcome each one of you. And as you know, I'm Pankaj Vyas. I'm the Managing Partner to Bija Training. And yes, today's topic is very interesting, which is called helping others win. Right? So, people, they say, yes, everybody talks about it, but how best we, implement this in our day in and day out life? Because what happens is, it's not always we get the instant reciprocation or instant results. So helping on the one side and rest, we should be not be worried about anything else, because somewhere or the another things come back to us. Okay, that's what they say. So you just do your part of job and rest will follow. So let's see what Ms. Malathi is going to share, because this is my perspective of understanding helping others. Let's understand a new perspective from an expert like Ms. Malathi today, okay, from the topic helping others win. And before we move forward, I would like to officially welcome each one of us, and especially our guest and panel discussion leader, through a mode of welcome video. So Arul, can we have the welcome video, please? Thank you so much. Welcome, Ms. Malathi, to the forum. Welcome, Mr. Yugandhar. Over to you, Yugandhar.
Hope my voice is clear, Pankaj. Is it audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you, Arul, and thank you, Nelle and Agan, for inviting us and Malathi for this forum. And yeah, I'm not meeting Malathi for the first time. Like earlier, also I met when there was a new labor course that time we met. I don't know whether if you can recollect or not. Yeah, it was nice connecting to you earlier. And also, thank you for joining this initiative, Malathi, and we welcome you all from the Bija training and also from the Leaders Connect. And as you know, today's topic is helping others win. So I just wanted to understand, how do you help someone succeed when they are struggling to perform?
Sure, definitely. My first response to you would be it is curiosity and not judgment, right? We often tend to judge people, right? When someone is struggling, it is easy for manager to conclude that a person lacks capability or maybe commitment. I think it's very loose talk sometimes that comes, right, by default. But poor performance, in my view, is usually a symptom, and a responsible leader must understand it, before even prescribing a solution. That's my view. And I definitely begin with a, very private and respectful conversation. Perhaps, I might say, see, I have noticed that I've been finding it difficult that you are not able to meet expectation for the role, for example. I would like to then, help the person understand what is getting in their way and how I can support them, right? So it could be any of these, right? It could be lack of clarity about expectation. It could be a capability or a skill gap. It could be insufficient resources or a support or lack of confidence. It's totally a new environment from where the person has come in. Or it could be personal or a health circumstances, also a possibility. Or they might going through a very difficult time in the family, etc. Or misalignment between the person and the role itself. So they are not able to comprehend to the role, for example, right? Or it could be genuinely a motivation issue, an attitude issue, or an accountability issue. So while when we look at it, there are so many parameters, right? And hence the response to it also will be different. For example, just a simple training or an orientation cannot solve a motivation problem, right? And pressure cannot solve a genuine capability or a personal challenge. So I would rather say my principle is be soft on the person with whatever situation is, but clear and be firm about the performance expectation. We definitely need to set the expectation. Objective is not merely to correct performance, but it is to help individual regain confidence, or is it dignity, or is it ownership, whatever that can drive towards success. So that's my view.
Okay, you recommend rather than generic, it should be like a tailor-made, like where we need to understand individuals from their perspective. Like as
Correct.
rightly said, like you should have curiosity and non-judgment, and also understanding, okay, why that particular individual is not performing. So are there any issues beyond the workplace? As rightly said, yeah, we need to understand uh, rather than generic. So understanding like how we can sort or how we can help them to achieve their things, as rightly said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this context, also just wanted to understand. So how do you support others without creating dependency on you?
Yeah. I've always seen with my experience also, a lot of my leaders try to, at least in the over 3 decades of experience that I have seen, managers tend to micromanage. And I'm sure any one of us, if we are micromanaged, we also don't like it, right?
True. Yeah.
So I feel that the difference lies in whether we give people answers or we help them develop the ability to find the answers themselves, right? So when someone comes to me with a problem, I rather resist the temptation to tell them immediately how do you do it to solve it. Rather, instead ask questions like, what do you think this is causing, right? Or what options have you considered before even coming to us, right? Or what do you really recommend if we were making a decision, for example? What's your decision? What is it you will do in this situation? Or what support do you need from me for you to resolve this? I think this kind of changes the conversation from saying that please solve this for me to help me strengthen my thinking, right? In the beginning, a person may, need more guidance, for example, because this style is slightly different for a person. But, when we demonstrate the process, work alongside them, or provide a framework, I'm sure next time they will take a much better lead that I can absorb, right? Eventually, they will handle it independently and they come to me only when there is escalation or when they really need my guidance genuinely. So, I definitely see a three-stage process here. Like in the first step, I show you, or we do it together, or you do it and I remain available if needed. So, that's how I would really look at this approach of supporting people.
So thank you for bringing your three-step process. So, and also I also feel like, yeah, rather being authoritative, I feel like, yeah, manager and his junior should, he or her junior should go hand in hand rather than being authoritative. And also, like, we should also give them freedom. Yes, this is what my perspective. And the junior, when the junior comes and when they tell the perspective, yeah, we should also acknowledge, yes, this is what your understanding. And yeah, if we go hand in hand, I think like it helps in solving over a broader perspective. Yes, rightly
Very
said.
true.
Okay, okay. And also just wanted to understand, like how do you help others grow when they are resistant to change?
Yeah, I think this is definitely so relevant in this era of AI, right? So, first of all, there's so many things that's changing. So, I first try to understand what the persons believe that they may lose because of this change, right? Resistance is not always negativity. Sometimes it is a fear expressed indirectly, right? People may fear losing competence,
Mhm.
status, or a control, or a relevance. It could be relation also, or the confidence that came from knowing how old the system or how they worked from a legacy system perspective per se, right? So this is particularly visible, like I said, in this digital transformation era, when organization restructuring is happening, automation is the way of life. And with an introduction of AI, it is even more, right? An experienced employee may not really resist the technology itself. The person may be silently asking, or telling themselves, will my experience be valued?
Mhm.
Right? There's a lot of question that's going on in so many people's mind today. So therefore, I begin by listening to say, I acknowledge what has worked in the past, but this is something that in consulting we always use to say that whatever we have worked till now or whatever we are doing now will only get the result that we are getting now. But if we want to get a different results, we need to do something differently, right? And also respect the person's contribution. So then explain why the change is necessary, and from an organization perspective and also from an individual perspective. So I try and involve people wherever possible. Like people are more likely to support when they are involved in the change process itself. So I
Okay.
may invite them, to join a pilot, for example, or, mentor them in a brainstorming session so that they contribute. And when they contribute, they naturally try to own it also, right? I also, break sometimes the large changes into smaller achievable steps, right? Early success basically reduce them fear to say, okay, fine, I have now cracked this, so now I'm okay to, move to the next level. So at the same time, as a leader, we must distinguish between three situations, right? Like someone who doesn't want to understand the change, someone who is afraid of the change, and someone who understands it but continuously refuses to adopt. So there are different situations, and hence you also deal with differently when it comes to these three different situations. So that's how I would look at it. And my principle would be to respect the emotion behind the resistance, but do not allow fear to permanently, block the growth of a person, right?
And as you said, like change is inevitable.
Yeah.
So we should adapt like whenever change is required. And as you rightly said, yeah, like we should have sessions together, and like also like pilot kind of sessions, like we're bringing both the parties. Yeah, this is why we are expecting a change. And probably even employee also might, if we are not communicating or if we are not open, then probably employee also might be thinking like why sudden changes, like why this they are thinking like that. So yeah, as you rightly said, like if we are able to get all of them to a single room, like where we can brainstorm ourselves, like this is why like we are telling to change, or this is why like we are expecting, then probably as you rightly said, like things might start working. Yes. And also like one more thing, like just wanted to understand, like out of this process, like how do you balance helping others succeed with achieving your own goals?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question.
Mm.
See, I don't see this as a competing priorities, right? In a good leadership, helping others, or when we see that our team members succeed, is the most effective way of achieving our own goals. So, no
True.
senior leader delivers results alone, right? We don't deliver it alone. So, we need team. The business outcomes are achieved through people. When team members grow in their capacity, in their capability, confidence, ownership, right, the leader's capacity also increases. I always feel that when you kind of uplift few people, is naturally you will also become a leader, and grow in the organization. So, however, helping others must be intentional and sustainable. I know in some of the situations it's not feasible, right? But but if we try and respond to every request, attend every meeting, and solve every problem, I may appear supportive. I can be a very supportive leader, but I'm actually weakening both my effectiveness and my team independence also, right? The team also will feel that I am not able to perform independently, right? This is precisely what I said about the micromanagement. Or rather, we prioritize and support based on, the importance of the outcome, the development value of the person, right? The level of risk involved, or whether my involvement is genuinely required. There's some escalation and you genuinely need to be there to solve for the team, right? Or whether the team is not having that capacity to handle at sometimes a senior level, etc., right? Or whether someone else can provide the support, for example, right? So it's definitely important as a leader for me to establish clear boundaries. Sometimes the most helpful response could be that I will help you think this through, but I would like you to take ownership for the execution. So then the
Okay.
team also will feel that I have set the expectation, and they also know, okay, fine. So it's my responsibility, and now I will deliver, to the best of my knowledge. I think that's where I feel that some of the most meaningful leadership contribution may never appear in our performance scorecard, right? The person we encourage, the opportunity we created, or the confidence we help someone rediscover. I think that's what make it more, success in my view. And my principle would be leadership is not about choosing between my success or your success. It is about building a system in which our success is reinforced, between
Collective
each other,
success rather
right?
than me or yours. Like as you rightly said, like yeah, when team members are achieving, at the end, like yeah, the leader is the person who will also achieve. Like yeah, a leader alone can't do the things, everything on his own. Right? At the end, like he also needs his team member support. As rightly said, like yeah, if team members are able to achieve, then yeah, leader also will be achieved in a way.
True.
Yeah, yeah.
Very true.
And also just wanted to understand, like, how can leaders create a culture where people genuinely support each other's success?
Yes, I'm sure culture is very important, and culture is created by what leaders consistently recognize or reward or tolerate or model it in the team, the way things happen, right? So if leaders speak about collaboration but reward only individual performance, for example, right, employees quickly understand that competition is the real expectation here, correct? So if information is treated as power, then people will try to protect it, right? If credit is concentrated at the top, then the people will hesitate to help others shine, right? Because they would like to keep the credit for themselves, right? To create a culture of mutual success, I feel that leaders must take several deliberate actions. That's my view. Firstly, create shared goals, right? People collaborate more naturally when they understand that the success dependence is more on the collective outcomes. It's not on isolated achievements, for example. That will only create competition between the team. Secondly, recognize that it's not only what was achieved, but also that it was achieved along with rewarding results. Acknowledge people who shared knowledge, who helped people, removed obstacles. That will help the team to collaborate. Thirdly, give credit wherever it's visible and specific. Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you rightly said, like leaders should take several deliberate actions where it helps rather than like being it is mine or yours. Yeah, it is a collective thing. And also we should also make genuinely like, yeah, it's like rather than your success or my success, it is overall success. And that overall success leads to the organizational success.
Correct.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
true. Yeah, because the outcome is only possible because the contribution made by multiple members in the team. It's not that
Yeah.
one person will achieve always, right? So that's the view.
True,
Yeah,
like single person cannot achieve, right? Like at the end, like he or she also will be having several
correct,
team members, like where everything will go hand in hand, and that
correct.
is how like we can see good success or higher success in the organizations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So it was nice interacting with you, Malathi, and I hand over now to Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Yugandhar, for the wonderful panel discussion, and thank you so much, Ms. Malti, for putting it in such a simple manner. Okay, and I believe everybody who might be doing it in their own way will also get a confidence that whatever they are doing, either they are doing it the right way, or if there is anything missing, they would do in the polished way. And if at all they are not doing it, they will start doing it in some or the another way. That has been my learning from your knowledge sharing with us today. Let us see what others have understood through a mode of a welcome, through a mode of a quiz. Okay, so I would like to invite our quiz leader, Miss Aparna. She's going to ask a question, and from the visitors, they will answer it. And whosoever wins today's quiz will get a book, which Arul will do the needful. That's the prize. So over to you, Aparna, for a quick quiz, please. Aparna ji, are you?
Hello.
I guess the quiz responsibility is with somebody else. Arul, can you answer this?
Yes. It's
Good
Nellai sir.
evening. Yeah.
Yes, Nellai sir.
Good
Oh,
evening and
I'm
all.
sorry,
Thanks to
sir.
the PJ training for this opportunity as a quiz leader. Dear Ms. Malli, ma'am, thank you for the insightful session on the helping others win. It was a powerful reminder that the true leadership is not just about achieving our own goals, but enabling others also to succeed. I particularly like the your thought that if we need different results, we have to work differently. It reinforces that need of the challenge our way of working and empower others and remove the barriers and share knowledge. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So let's see who is the lucky winner of this week quiz. So fastest fingers first. Let's see who writes the correct answer in the chat box. So as per the Malathi ma'am mentioned, yeah, team leader is struggling to perform, which is the best way to help others win while building the confidence and independence. Oh.
Even Aparna.
So the winner of the week is the correct answer is B. So the Aparna Sampath is the
Aparna.
winner of the week.
Yeah. Today I
Congratulations,
bet
Aparna ji. Congratulations.
Sukumaran sir, I think.
Yes.
Aparna ji, you have a bonus to unmute yourself and ask question. Thank you so much, Nellai sir, for doing the honor for the quiz. Thank you so much. Over to you, Aparna ji, if you have any question to be asked.
So, thank you so much, Malathi, for such an insightful session. We understood how you have grown to be such a great leader. And my question is now, you said people may resist change, and you said we have to speak to them and all that. In spite of that, in spite of all the leaders' efforts, if a person is not ready to change, then how can we help them?
See, in a corporate environment, while there's definitely that you would want to help people, but if the the he or she is becoming so rigid and not able to change, that can sometimes become detrimental to the career, right? So it's important that you could perhaps help in multiple conversation, maybe help try and mentor them to say why the change is required. But if the change is still not possible, then it becomes difficult for you to really, go with the flow, right? If the entire organization is moving towards automation, augmentation, and all of those. See, there are two ways that you could look at it. One, either help understand the employee to see how they can cope up, and if they need help, or guide them on some courses that they can do, or they can seek help from the colleagues to learn and whatever. But if they're still not willing, then there are only two options, right? Either one, that sometimes it can get very negative at a corporate environment, as you know, or otherwise you could redeploy the person to say where there is a possibility of still looking at a job being performed at a level that the person is performing. So there are only two options that you have from a corporate perspective. But I would rather say that it's important. It's not about the age. It's not about the old employee, new employee, or whatever it is. It's not also about that whatever we have done so far in the organization, will that be relevant? That no longer will be valid, especially when the AI era, right? So it's important that for everybody to understand and adopt. Is That's my view. My sincere advice would be to change is the only way of life, and we need to change for our good. While it is difficult to go through the change, but it'll ultimately result in good for both, and it's a win-win situation for both company, the manager, and the employee.
That
And
was
I have
amazing
a
answer.
slightly different perception on this. Like, if I'm allowed to add, like, can add one more point, Aparna here.
Thank you so much. So, Aparna ji, I
Yeah.
believe you got
Sukumar,
answers. So, Arul,
yes.
do we have any other questions?
Yeah,
No,
someone was talking.
I have another point to add on this,
Yeah, please.
Mr. Pankaj. Yeah, okay. So I feel okay, like if see, like though you are telling if a person is not changing, then I think like somewhere the manager also not trying to make individual like why he is not accepting. So probably we should have again like multiple sessions. Like if that person is not able to understand, then again like being a manager, like I think like even you are being a failure for that particular instance because like when you know you are junior, like when they are supposed to change and a person is resisting to change, then probably we might not be telling the way which he is understanding it. So we should make him understand like why this change is required and like what will happen if the change is not happening on. So probably we should go to their level because each individuals are unique, right? Like we don't know like how individual might think. So probably we should go to in their level and try again and again so that like he understands it.
Absolutely. So that's where the leader mentorship would come in, where you try and mentor the person to see why it's important for change.
Yes.
But if even with that it's not happening, then it becomes a next step to see whether, while in most of the situation during mentorship, you do see people understand and they change, right? Not that people would want to, leave the legacy of so much of work that they have done for so many years and things like that. So they do understand and they change, but I think sometimes it's mentorship that helps them, the guidance
True.
that helps them, or maybe ask them to, work with a colleague who can help them. That's also another way I feel that, they might feel more comfortable whether, instead of manager mentoring them, maybe they would feel comfortable with a fellow colleague who can help them understand. If that's also not possible, then the only way that you will look at is either see how we can help this person change. If change is not possible, then perhaps redeploy to a role that the person can easily perform. So that's another way to look at it.
And I have one more point as well. As rightly said, like, yeah, I got little ignite when Malathi has spoke. Yeah, like, yeah. See, when a person is not listening to the manager, then probably her colleague, like, see, obviously, like, few times they will not accept the manager's right. Okay, that time, like, if a colleague within the same team or within the same level, if they tell them, probably they might start thinking. At least they might start thinking.
Absolutely.
At
So
the end, like,
sometimes a fellow colleague
however,
might help
yeah,
change because they can speak to them at the same wavelength. So
yeah.
that might be helpful. So
At
yeah,
the end, like,
yeah.
however close being with your junior, sometimes that level will come. Like, yeah, he is my senior, he is my manager. But when person tells you the same level, right? Then I think, yeah, they might listen. I'm not sure. Like, we need to see.
Sure.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay, great. So, or do we have any other questions?
Yes.
Please check.
We have Miss Akshaya there.
Yes, Ms. Akshaya, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, everyone. Ma'am, thanks for the insightful session. Ma'am, my question is regarding your expertise. How should a reward structure should be designed for a hunter and a farmer with respect to sales?
Thanks for this question. So while see, hunter is a person who hunts you the client and give you, right? So basically, this is where you have a lot of sales incentive and things which organization use as rewarding for the hunting job that the hunter would do. While when it comes to a farmer, you're more inclined towards ensuring that while the hunting is done, but how do you ensure that that particular client stays with the organization for year on year for the repeat business and all of those, and hence it's important that they manage the account, they farm the account, and then accordingly work. So see, one is, while for everybody in the organization, depending on the role and the position, you have a standard structure, while there are incentives which you can use it to basically reward performance based on and bring in the desired behaviors also, right? Like for example, hunter needs to hunt the client while farmer needs to ensure they maintain the account, the client management, key account, and all of those, right? Accordingly, you kind of design the variable pay, whether it's short-term incentives or a long-term incentives, whichever way, and you would like to do. Like for example, for a farmer, it's more important that they need to kind of stay in the organization for a longer time, right? Because you need to ensure that, account management, the way it is done, so it also is taken care for at least some years to move forward until it becomes a process. So it's important that maybe you bring in a retention bonus as a concept or the different incentives that you use in order to reward desired behavior action. So that's what it is.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the clarity.
Great. So, Sarul, any other last question?
Yeah, we have Sneha. Sneha.
Okay.
Hi. Yes,
Good evening, everyone. Ma'am, I'm sorry, my camera is off.
yes, it's on now.
Yeah,
Good evening, everyone. Ma'am, thank you so much for such an insightful session. And my question is very different from what we have been talking. As in, like when we say that the corporate ground is so full of, it is like competition. And it is a market where everyone tries to step over another. In this position where we talk about the help and seeing the capability of an individual, how important it is the role of all together as a team to stand up, and what should be done as in the market for the knowledge to be spread, because the environment is not what you've been actually discussing about.
I understand.
How can we change the environment?
See, there is a lot that we talk about, right? The corporate is known for rat race, the competition, the politics, and all of those. But I always believe that what energy you carry, that is what flows. But if you try to say that I will make a difference, and you will make a difference, even let's say to start with a small team that you manage, then slowly when they become leaders, perhaps they follow your steps to say how they can spread the positive environment. If even a competition is hitting you, while it's important for all of us to perform, you can still collaborate and win together. That kind of a success is very different. While as long as we don't follow, we don't experience it, I don't think it's possible to, inculcate that as a practice. But I think first step is, as individuals, as managers, we need to change. If at all, we need to see a change in the world. So that's how I feel that every change starts with a small step. And as long as, no matter what the noise is, ignore the noise, but you follow your principles, I think you will be able to make a difference.
Thank
Focus
you,
on
ma'am.
what matters. Like, yeah,
Focus on what matters.
yeah, as you rightly said, like, yeah, it's a, I mean, in corporate, they refer it like it's a rat race, competition, politics. At the end, like, you should listen yourself. That is yourself. Okay. So always trust yourself. And also, like when doing any task or any activity, right, you self-analyze, okay, like whether the thing what I'm doing, like whether it really helps the corporate, or whether it really helps myself, or whether it helps team, or whether it helps to the organization. So you self-analyze on yourself, and like whether it really matters, yes, then focus on what matters to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So,
Yes.
Arul, here we
Pankaj,
come.
one final question. One is from
One
Ms.
final question.
Bharnika.
Okay.
She's in travel. She's put in the chat box. The question is, sometime the people who help others grow don't receive recognition themselves. How can organizations ensure that these silent contributors also valued and rewarded? This is the question from Ms. Bharnika.
See, the problem is many times what happens, you're trying to help, but what really matters to the organization is also that how you're creating an impact. While you are helping, but it's also important that we create impact in the organization, because that's what gets valued, right? While, yes, one or two times it's possible that you are ignored, but if your impact is taken care of and you're bringing value, naturally, that will get highlighted over a period of time. So helping doesn't mean that we just simply help whoever possible, but you need to also focus on what matters and how you bring value in your own position.
Correct.
Thank you, Pankaj.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Okay,
at the
thank you.
long run, like, yeah, organization definitely observe it, like who is the contributor, and see, it might not be observed during the initial phases, rather like over gradually, or you are associated with the operation for longer time, then they might also see, right, if not today, at least some other day.
Yes. Beautiful.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Malathi ma'am. Thank you, Yugandhar sir. Over to you, Pankaj.
Okay, here I would like to invite now our summary leader, Miss Aparna. Okay. So now is the right role I've been inviting for. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pankaj. So
Your voice is breaking.
it was really a very insightful session, and we learned so much. And not helping, it's just not is just not helping others, but we should focus what really matters. So I would like to summarize. So first Malathi spoke about the objective of we should have a clear, as a leader, as a senior leader, the leader should have a clear objective of how to help and what to help the people who are seeking help. And she also spoke about stop the micromanaging. I think maybe micromanaging has been a bigger hindrance for people to grow. So she's telling don't create dependency. So people who feel very dependent on you, you have to create. And she has given us 3-step strategy. So she says, do it together first, so that you handhold the person and guide the person, and then you guide him to do it on his own, and finally you have to encourage that he or she handles on independently. That's what she's told us. And then we spoke about the AI era, how should we help others grow. So Malathi has given us a very good perspective of see in this different generations working together, especially there is a lot of chaos, and its clarity is not there. So she said, as a senior leader, we need to respect the person's contribution, and also understand what is the belief beyond that resistance, if there is any resistance. So again, she's given us the 3-step process. First, identify why the person doesn't want to change, and then whether there is any uh, easy or she's scared, there is afraid to change. And then finally, there are some people who just refuse to change. These are the some categories that are available in the corporate world. So how you should do it, involve the people to contribute instead of just directing things on them. So whatever project or process is happening, just involve them to contribute, and whichever way they want. That's what effective leader should be doing. So, and we next spoke about the balance, how to balance the other person's growth and personal growth as a senior leader. So there she has given us a beautiful thing. So she says, don't do it alone. Leadership, achieving things is not doing it alone. So as a leader, you need to uplift team members. That is the way to do it. So unless you involve your team and you do it together, it is not going to matter. And then establish clear boundaries and encourage them to take ownership she has been mentioning in throughout. She says that allow facilitate people to take ownership, so that they're not dependent on you. And also, she said leadership is about success of the organization. It's not about I am doing or you're doing, you're growing or I am growing. It is the success is achieved together, and that should be the mantra for the success. And she also said, again, she gave us a 3-step process to create the culture, and she spoke about the creating culture
Hello. Aparna ji, we are missing on your voice.
organization, and unless as a senior leader we create
Hello.
working the not achieve. So that she also spoke about the shared views, and whatever it is, visible and very very specific to it. So the energy that you create is matters. And finally she said, the impact you create to the organizational growth matters than simply helping. You can't say, just claim that you have helped somebody. If it does not make any impact to the organizational growth, then you will not be recognized by the organization. I mean, that point was brought in where there was a question that how uh, in spite of helping, how they, if I'm not recognized, what do I do? So for that, beautifully she summarized that this is a impact that you have to be thinking of. So as in when we grow, then we need to align to the organizational goals instead of just thinking of personal things. That's what I have summarized, I have written down. So it was really a
Thank you, Aparna ji.
insightful and thoughtful to Pankaj.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Aparna ji. I believe we are facing some technical challenge. Somewhere we are missing on your voice, but still, thank you so much for the wonderful summary. We missed on certain pointers, but yes, we know that you have summarized it so well. Thank you so much. And as we move forward and we come to the concluding stage of our today's evening, I would like to invite our vote of thanks leader, Miss Rehana, for a quick word of thanks, please. And before that, Arul, do you have any information to be shared?
All good, Pankaj. Things are fine. We can proceed further.
Fine. So, Rehan, over to you.
Hello everyone, good evening. When decisions are driven by clarity and data, organizations are better equipped to position talents and build resilient workforces. Let me quickly share once again the purpose of this thriving community. Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a non-profit organization aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We are a hybrid leadership community bringing leaders together every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m., where experts from diverse fields share practical solutions to real-time leadership challenges. Just like the valuable insights we received today on helping others win, every last week of the month we go a step further by inviting authors to share insights from their books, helping us evolve as leaders and lifelong learners. I extend my deepest gratitude to our esteemed guest, Ms. Malathi K S, Director, Reward Consulting, Mercer India, for our insightful and thought-provoking perspective. A special thank you to our panel discussion leader, Mr. Yugandhar V, Manager HR, EverestIMS Technologies, and our moderator, Mr. Pankaj Vyas, Managing Partner, Bija Trainings, for steering today's discussion so effectively and making it truly impactful. And now, as a token of a small appreciation, we present a special thank you video to express our gratitude.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Arul. Thank you, Malati, for being our guest today, and we would like you to be part of this Leaders Connect fraternity, and wherever possible, please help us grow this fraternity more. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity and thanks everyone. Thank you.
Have a great evening. Thanks so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for all
Thank
joining
you,
in.
Malati ma'am.
Over to you,
Thank you,
Arul.
Pankaj sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Malathi ma'am. Thank you, Pankaj, and thank you all. Let's all connect for the next week. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.